How can you resist tackling a word problem devised by two of the best mathematicians of all time? Let's get started. The Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre last night. The police have followed the scent of the painting all the way to 5 identical houses. They realize that they can't search all the houses at once, because if they pick the wrong house, the thief will know the police are onto him. It's up to you, the city's best detective, to solve the case. When you arrive on a scene, the police tell you what they know. 1. Each house is owned by a different teacher. Mr. Richer, Miss Ehring, Mr. Beebus, Miss Crimmon and Mr. Fravor. 2. Each teacher drinks a different beverage. The 5 different beverages are coffee, tea, root beer, milk and water. 3. Each teacher plays a different sport. The 5 different sports are basketball, baseball, football, lacrosse and cricket. 4. Each house's interior walls are painted a different color. The 5 colors are red, green, yellow, white and blue. 5. Each house contains a different painting. The 5 different pieces of artwork include Guernica, The Last Supper, The Scream, The Starry Night and, of course, the Mona Lisa. These are the 15 clues you have been given. It's up to you to figure out who the true thief of the Mona Lisa is. It might be a little confusing trying to isolate the true thief without solving it the right way. So it might be helpful to organize your clues in a chart formation like this. Use the following page to help find who the thief is. Answer will appear in 3, 2, 1. To start, use what you know from clues 8 and 9. Then, from clue 14, you see that Miss Ehring lives next to the house with blue walls, so you can fill it in. In clue 5, you first realize that these parts cannot fit in house 3 because you know the owner drinks milk. And it can't be house 2 because you know his walls are blue. You then look at clue 4 and realize it can't be the first or 5th house. The only spot left for the coffee drinker with green walls is house 4. So house 5 must have white walls. Next, you go to clue 1 and look at your chart and figure out that the only house that doesn't have the teacher or wall color is house number 3. Now that the only unassigned wall color is yellow, you can add that to house 1. Then you can fill in clue 7, which states that the person with yellow walls plays cricket. Clue 11 then helps you figure out what house the Guernica is in. You then try and figure out what Miss Ehring drinks. You realize it can't be tea because of clue 3 and it can't be root beer because of clue 12. So then it must be water. From clue 15, you can figure out that the person in house 2 plays football. Now that the only spot without a drink and sport is house 5, you can use clue 12 to fill those boxes in. Now, when you look at the beverage row, you can see that house 2 is missing a drink, so you can put tea in that box. From that, you can fill in the teacher from clue 3. Now when you look at your chart, you can see that the only house missing both the teacher and a sport is house 4. So, you look at clue 13 and fill in the baseball playing Mr. Richer. Through elimination, you can figure out that Miss Crimmon lives in house 5, and Mr. Fravor, who lives in house 3, plays basketball. When you look at clue 2 and 6, you can assign a couple of paintings to some houses. Clue 10 helps you figure out who the true thief is by assigning The Last Supper to Mr. Beebus in house 2. Now when you see that there is one box left in your grid, you know that Mr. Richer in the green wall house is the culprit. You and the police burst into the house looking to find Mr. Richer with the Mona Lisa. However, when they break through the door, they do not see Mr. Richer. Instead, they see another painting that is not the Mona Lisa. They walk up to the picture and check for any fingerprints or writing. A few hours later, they find many numbers on the painting. The numbers are 1, 4, 5, 6, 18, 2, 18, 1, 22, 18. How are you going to be able to solve this riddle when all you have is numbers? When you look at these numbers, it can be very confusing when trying to figure out how these can help you find the thief. However, the method is pretty simple. When you correspond these numbers with the letters in the alphabet, it can lead you to the thief. When you look at the other suspect's name, you see that there is only one person with 3 R's in their name. So, you know that Brad Fravor is the true thief. You run to Mr. Fravor's house and finally break down the right door. You find Mr. Fravor standing there next to the painting and take him for questioning right away. You ask him how he was able to get the Mona Lisa, with which he responds with,
"I knew that Mr. Richer was going to steal the painting last night, so when he came back with the painting I entered through his window, took the painting and ran home."
Wow! You actually figured out a riddle. Well done!